This is Jean Serino, and this is a conversation. And I'm very happy to have here Vietnam veterans. And want to say your name?
David Connolly.
And
Will Thomas.
Will Thomas?
Not Vietnam, Cold War.
what?
A Cold War veteran.
Cold War veteran.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are a
Jesse
veteran.
Gillis.
They're all veterans for peace.
Global
Yes.
War on Terror. Yeah.
And especially at this time, it's kind of important to wake people up. Hey. We will hear from them poems, and you have written a book.
I have.
Yes, and he's going to read from his book. And so why don't you just tell me your name, when you went to Vietnam, and how you're feeling now, how you do now.
My name's Dave Connolly. I'm 77. I got to Vietnam on the 2nd of February, 1968. The Tet Offensive had started 2 days before, and it looked like we were about to lose the war. When I landed, there was a black sergeant first class and 2 young black specialists. And the specialists were handing out M16 rifles and bandoliers of ammunition. And the sergeant first class said, and quote, because I don't use these words, "You're here to kill gooks. Kill any gook you see." And I thought to myself,
Oh my God.
this is crazy. The gook thing I was used to because that's all we heard. We heard Vietnam 20 times a day about what we should know and what if we see this and if know this, do that. But we never heard the word Vietnamese. We heard gook, dink, slope, zip ahead. And I was only 18 and a dumb grunt, but I'm not stupid. I knew that this is not so subtle form of brainwashing that I wasn't going to fold under, you know. And it got worse from there.
You were saying when I had you on that first they make the enemy nothing, dehumanize the enemy.
Yeah.
Whoever the enemy is, yeah. And he just avowed to that. You want to say who you are? And
Will Thomas, and my service was in the U.S. Navy.
how old are you?
I am 83.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
I got you beat.
Okay. And my experience was, first of all, I was an army brat. My father had 2 deployments to Germany. I basically grew up in Germany
Oh, you
between
did?
12 and 18. And so when I graduated from high school in Augsburg, American High School, Augsburg, Germany, which was about 10 miles from Dachau, one of the early
dear.
concentration camps in Germany. But anyway, so I came back to the States and didn't have enough money to go to college. And so I was working in a ice cream shop, and I was working at a country club, dishwashing, and I said, well, I think I want to do something better. So I enlisted in the Navy. And so I ended up,
How old were you when you enlisted?
when I enlisted,
Yeah.
18.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
It's a baby.
And when I was assigned to finally a ship, it was called the USS Okinawa, which is named after one of the battles of World War II. It was 2/3 the size of a aircraft
Wow.
carrier, but we had a complement space for up to 2,000 Marines. How about that, Dave? 2,000 Marines on the ship.
Wow.
But it was a helicopter carrier. So anyway, we're down in the Caribbean, we're down up at Puerto Rico playing war games. And the captain says, oh, well, we're going to go somewhere else tomorrow. Where are we going? And he says, you'll find out tomorrow morning. And he pipes over the speech by President John F. Kennedy. And Kennedy says, oh, we have a problem. The Russians have shipped in missiles and troops into Cuba. So we're headed to Cuba. And we become part of that blockade around the island. For 13 days, actually 12 days, because one day we went into Mayport, Florida, to pick up almost 2,000 Marines and food and ammunition and preparation for invading Cuba, even though we had promised not to do that. Remember this, Jesse? The Bay of Pigs,
Yeah.
which was in 1961.
We had too young a president, I think.
Well, it's a good thing he got on that red phone, the hotline, because the day before he was almost determined, because all the whole Joint Chiefs of Staff was saying, bomb Cuba, invade Cuba. And so he talked to Khrushchev, the Soviet leader, who had grandchildren, and he had young children, and they came to a reckoning, an agreement. We would take our missiles out of Turkey, which were aimed at Moscow and other places, and they would take their missiles out of Cuba, which were aimed at Miami
Is that the deal?
and Washington.
That was the deal?
And we promised we would not replicate what we did in 61 at the Bay of Pigs, which to invade Cuba and overthrow Castro.
Yeah, I
And
know.
of course, we've kept that promise, but we've done everything to weaken.
I remember that. I was,
Yeah. So
I was a
it was
girl.
a Cuban Missile Crisis, and October 13th through the 29th, I guess it was. And we came about that close to a nuclear war. If it hadn't been, if I can say this, we had a Soviet submarine behind us. And
I guess Khrushchev was a pretty decent guy.
well, yeah, he had grandchildren. He
Yeah,
understood.
Yeah.
So we knew the submarine. There were 4 Soviet submarines around where we were during the blockade, and somehow, to this day, we're not sure. Some destroyer captain said, "Just for fun, I'm going to drop a depth charge." You know? And so the submarine heard this, and they thought they were under attack, and they had discovered they had lost contact with Moscow. But they gave Moscow, Khrushchev, whatever, gave instructions.
This
If
is
you
a-
are attacked,
Mel Brooks.
fire
movie.
your missile. They had 1 nuclear missile. Fire it. But there was no communication.
Oh, dear.
So, but it took 3 of the officers, and the first 2 top officers said, "Fire." And the guy who saved the world, he's called Vasily Arakov. I think I had a picture of him somewhere. Hesitated for about a minute, and he declined. He said no.
Oh, good.
And so they made a documentary about him,
Wow.
the man who saved the world, Vasily Arakov.
I never knew that story.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
And he should be remembered
Yeah.
for that.
You're not allowed to follow illegal orders, are you?
Well,
That's what Mark Kelly's saying. Mark Kelly, Senator Kelly.
right,
We are not allowed to follow illegal orders.
right,
It goes against the oath we took.
right.
Yeah. Well, that would have been an illegal order, wouldn't it?
Well, to find, no,
Maybe not on their side,
yeah, on
on
their
our
side,
side.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were going to attack
Yeah.
our ship
Yeah.
and sink it.
Oh, wow.
So,
Well, I would like you guys to talk about your experiences and what you've written about. And would you like to start, Dave?
Sure.
Would you like to read something?
You know, this poem isn't about combat. I have combat poems, but this is about the reckoning that I've come to as rehumanizing my enemies. I bear no animosity towards the Vietnamese people. They did their jobs. They were boys fighting for their country, just like I thought I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many years ago, I was in a group of 10 poets, 5 Americans, Vietnam veterans, and 4 Vietnamese and 1 Cambodian, all veterans. And 4 of the 5 were on the other side during the war. They were North Vietnamese Army or they were Viet Cong. And I had a line in this poem that I wanted translated to Vietnamese so that if I read it to Vietnamese people, they would understand it. And it's a very dialectical language, very tonal language. So I got one translation, and I read it, and a Vietnamese woman, a young Vietnamese lady, come up to me and she said, "You speak Vietnamese very badly, but thank you for trying."
Yeah.
But she said, And one of those words you should never say in front of a woman. I was so mispronouncing the word. But I sat down in this group with one of the men, one of the Vietnamese men, a man named Do Vi Ha, and Ha and his son. They argued over how to say this one sentence for better than half an hour, and so that it would be understood by the greatest number of Vietnamese people. And one of the American poets said, he started to giggle, saying, you have over a half an hour to piss away arguing over how to say one sentence, and Ha said to him, you Americans do not understand. Time means nothing. We were willing to fight you forever.
Yeah, there was a little show on television with about this fellow who was in the Second World War, going back to the reunion of D-Day, and he went with his walker. He went off. It's a true story. He wanted to go back, and it turned out he wanted to go back because he had told somebody to go ahead and don't worry, go out, and a guy had gotten killed. But so he wanted to redeem himself.
Yeah.
But he also wanted to talk to the German soldiers that were there, and it was like, oh God, it was so heartbreaking. They were just as dedicated as he was.
This is to the Vietnamese veterans from Dave Connolly.
Speak up, speak up.
I've wanted to tell you all, as I've met each of you over the years, Tôi mang đau dấu thương cho Việt Nam. I bear the mark of pain for Vietnam. No matter which side you are on, know the war has cost me, and is long over for me. I hope it is over for you, especially if it was between us. But is what I have said the truth? For what do I bear that mark? Did I almost fall for your homeland or for mine? Was it that challenge to ask not and Kennedy's Camelot? Was it for me, my father, or yours, for Southie, the States, or Saigon? See, all of you on both sides can know and say for what it was you dared, maybe almost died, and all of you can say you fought for, bear the mark of pain for your country, for Vietnam. I fought for something I cannot yet name. That is the truth, and that is the problem.
Very, very good. You've written a book, haven't you?
I have.
What is the name of the book?
Lost in America.
Lost in America.
Yeah.
Can people get that book?
Might be able to find some copies on Amazon. It's been out of print now. It was reprinted twice.
Do you want to read from that book?
I will. You want me to read something now? Or?
Oh, yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Well, one of the poems that Dave came to my class on the lessons of the Vietnam War, and he brought...
You're a teacher, right?
Right.
You teach at college, right?
No, Central High School in Manchester.
Oh, high school. Oh.
And so
Better yet.
I invited Dave up, and he came, and he brought a box with him. And the box, he opened the box up, and there were copies. I don't know how many. He brought 60 copies, you know, for every student. And there was another class that heard you were coming, an English class, that wanted to hear these poems. So, and then Dave, some of my students wrote to Dave, and Dave responded. And maybe, Jesse, you might want to read one of the responses here. But he made a profound impression on the students. And some of them had fathers who were in Vietnam. And, you know, so they were powerful. So I always thank Dave for
For the audience reference, what time period was this?
well, Dave, I think it was 1999.
I think it was 99 also.
And then
yes.
maybe the year after.
How long did that war go on?
Till 75.
How many years?
Depends on some people time it from 61 to 75,
Yeah.
63 to 75.
Yeah.
The Marines landed in Da Nang, I believe, in 64, which was the first ground troops, American ground troops, not advisors. The advisors have been there many years,
Right.
since the end of World War II.
Yes, Gulf of Tonkin
What
was
were they
64.
advised to do?
Yes.
They were trying to teach the
65.
South Vietnamese Army, the Army of the Republic of Vietnam, how to conduct combat operations against the communists.
Yeah, yeah.
Vietnam, by the way, is doing quite well now.
Yeah, capitalist country.
And they won, didn't they?
In a sense, they
North
did.
Vietnam won.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dave, yeah.
Two of my friends in Vietnam were nicknamed Rat Shit and the Weasel.
What?
Yeah,
Rankin?
Rat Shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
you might have to.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that was his nickname.
Go ahead.
Everybody got nicknames.
It's a good
and
thing nobody watches
trying
the
to-
show.
They were trying to plug him with a nickname, and he
And what was
come
the
in-
other one? Ratchet and who?
The Weasel.
The Weasel. Oh, lovely guys.
And Ratchet's name was Jerome.
Did they like those names for themselves?
No, it didn't matter.
Oh.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
No.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but he come in with a stateside cold, and when he kept sneezing, and he didn't say achoo. It sounded like he said rat shit. So somebody said, "That's your nickname," and
Oh,
he really
God.
didn't like it. But it's too bad.
They probably tried to find the worst possible name for everybody, right?
Well, they tried to fit it to you like the Weasel was a skinny little kid, and his nose stuck out further than mine, so he became the Weasel.
Oh.
You know, but this is what happened to them.
Why don't we have Will read a poem that you've written?
Sure, go
Well,
ahead.
And we'll go, keep going
But
around.
is it open to the
I'm going to read Pauline Hertzit.
Well, Pauline Hebert.
Hebert.
Yeah, her poem.
Oh, well, Dave, why don't you read that? That's
Okay.
your poem.
And a rocket-propelled grenade, we called them B-40s. It's a B-40 rocket. We never heard RPG in Vietnam. The term wasn't used. Died in Vietnam. Two of my friends died in Vietnam, this guy says to me, this virgin my age, and I almost snort in derision. For in the slow-mo of my memory, I again see Ratchet try to collect himself, try to summon up the balls it will take to peek over the Patty Dyke to see just how many Viet Cong have turned our way. He winks and smiles, big, strong teeth flashing, then starts up. That dark pucker appears suddenly next to his eye, and he begins to twirl, arms out, his body pulled by his head. And following that bullet, which is skidded around his skull and out, his brains, his smile, all that he was, sprays the Weasel and I. We're up on our feet now, snapping caps on rock and roll, ducking at the same time to reload. I see the Weasel flinch, shake his head, and exhale as an RPG detonates right on the other side of the dike from him. And I see, or maybe I just think I see, the nose of the next B-40 rocket poke through the softened earth of the twice-struck Patty Dyke and explode. The Weasel, his fatigues full of bloody holes, propelled by the blast, rushes to embrace me, already dead on his feet. Died in Vietnam, the Virgin said, as if he had any idea what that meant. But he doesn't, he couldn't know. And I'm ashamed of my cynicism, for it has made light of his loss and left me with the feeling that I have somehow dishonored both of our dead. But he doesn't, he couldn't know. You see, to him, died in Vietnam means he'll never see his friends again. I'll see mine forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. It's no secret that you all have experienced PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Well,
Are you still experiencing it? Yes?
Every day.
Yeah. Well,
I
you're very-
take 9 milligrams of a drug called Prazosin every night. And it's a blood pressure medication, but they found that given in the right dosage, it kills combat dreams. I still dream, but I don't watch my friends die. And I'm able to sleep at night. I no longer throw my wife off the bed. Well, I'm not attacking her. She's in the middle of the firefight I'm dreaming about, and I'm trying to save her. So
Do you suppose that every soldier who went to Vietnam has that problem, mental? How can you come back and be normal?
it depends on what you saw, what you had to do. You know,
Yeah.
only 1 in about 20 soldiers who went to Vietnam were actively engaged in combat. The rest had support roles, but that doesn't mean that they didn't see ambushes on the roads going here and there,
What is
booby traps.
What is the thing in Vietnam that you deplore the most that you had to do?
Kill people.
Kill people.
Yeah. Yeah. And
How do you get over
I never
that?
shot at anyone who was not holding a weapon. I never abused a prisoner or a civilian. I never committed rape. I saw all of those things happen.
Yeah.
All of those, they're weapons of war. And they're going
I
on
know.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Before Jesse wants to read something that you wrote, Dave, to
Sure.
students, but one of the poems that made
Wait, I can't see you.
one of the poems that made an impression on some of my students was called Psych Evaluation. Psych Evaluation. So it's a short one. I don't know if you want to read it or should I?
It's up to you.
Okay.
But you have to speak up.
So this graduate student is asking me why I'm smiling. His eyes can't see my brothers on either side of him, giving him the finger, blowing kisses at this punk and his clipboard full of questions, this putz who thinks he can spot, quote, crazy, but doesn't look me in the eye. He thinks I talk to them, listen to them, like they still live. I know they don't because I do. But being dead doesn't mean they're not still my friends. And that was
Oh, that's
made
beautiful.
a big impression on some of them.
Oh, you wrote that?
No, big.
Oh, you wrote that? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you think you had a sensitivity before you even went? You were 18?
I was 18. Well, I've been writing poetry since I was a kid, but
Okay.
mostly to try to impress girls. And if that worked, great. If it didn't work, I could write a poem about how you broke my heart. And
You
that
and
might
Taylor
work.
Swift. You make a fortune. Make a song out of it.
But once I got to Vietnam, things were just so desperate and so Disneyland, you know.
Unreal.
Yeah, that I had to find some way to order my thoughts or I'll go crazy.
Yeah.
So, but you couldn't keep a diary in Vietnam
Why not?
because if it's captured, no matter how hard you try, you're going to leave military information in your diary. So I used to, when things would happen, I'd write just a snippet of the incident and put it in an envelope and hand it in with the mail, so that if I lived, when I got home, I'd have all the things that I needed to write a book. And when I got home, I had about 200 of these envelopes with these little pieces of paper in them. And half of them, I'm like, what was I talking about?
Yeah.
You know? Some of them
Yeah.
had mud in them. One actually had blood on it.
Oh.
But I sorted them out, and it became this book, and it saved my sanity.
Yeah.
You know, getting this out of me.
So nobody comes out of a war unscathed.
No, you can't do things so unholy.
Yeah.
So
Do you have something you want to read?
Well, I think
Oh, he does.
Dave, yeah, it's something that it's dated, what is it?
oh, it's 96.
96.
Okay,
So it was 96 and maybe 98 you came in.
maybe.
Twice, two different times. And this is Dave responding to a student I had named Sean.
I actually had a question for you. When did you leave Vietnam?
August 6, 1969.
In 69, August, from leaving to, you could say present day, the justification for the war, how is it framed in your mind why we were at Vietnam?
Well, the story was that we were there to help the freedom-loving people of South Vietnam hold the communists back from taking over. I met very, very few of those freedom-loving people in South Vietnam. Right adjacent to the military installations, there were villages, and they made their living off the USGI. You know, so they were, by and large, on the side of the Saigon government, out in the field, out in the bush. Everybody was on the other side or on no side. Okay, they either had relatives, a husband, a son, a brother who was Viet Cong, or they didn't care who was in the government in Saigon. What they wanted was to grow their rice and raise their children and have tomorrow be like yesterday
Yeah.
was. What they wanted was my white face out of their life,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
And I truly believe that people like AT&T and Dow Chemical and Exxon,
Yeah.
you know, it was their war to make money off.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I come home, there was nothing for us from the VA. They were not prepared for us. They were set up for geriatric medicine, you know. They were set up to treat people my father's age.
Yeah.
And they didn't even, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder wasn't even in the DSM yet. They didn't know how to treat it.
Yeah.
They called it post-Vietnam syndrome,
Yeah.
you know, not post-traumatic stress disorder.
Probably after World War I, there was some sort of.
They were soldier's heart, but they
Yeah.
didn't,
Yeah.
and what they did was just medicate them.
Yeah.
First time I complained that I was having nightmares and I was starting to have daymares, I went to that woman that, you
Yeah.
know, it was a woman.
Yeah.
And I made it a man in here because I didn't want to
Yeah.
demean women, but she was those are her actions too.
Yeah.
But she said to me, I'm going to mail you a prescription. And she made me a bottle about this big of Valium.
Oh,
And I said, okay, I'm supposed to go home and chew these and shut up.
yeah.
And I said, a buddy of mine said, sell them. And I said,
Oh,
that makes me a drug dealer,
Yeah.
you know? And I said, so I gave them away to all my friends that
Oh,
like Valium and
I-
didn't go back to the
Across the
VA
road.
again for about 15 years.
You know, Dave, a good example of mistreatment of veterans, the book by Ron Kovic,
Oh, yeah.
Born on the 4th of
yeah, Born
July.
on the 4th of July, beautiful
and
movie.
the film, I guess, too, with
Tom Cruise, he was wonderful in it.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
a good actor.
Yeah.
So to relate it to today or juxtapose to today, 69 you come back, 73 U.S. forces are pulled out.
Right.
And you think of all the lives, all of what we've done in Vietnam. How did that affect you? And I'm relating it to today because it's a sunken cost into Iran. This, what are we going to just walk away from this? It just,
Exactly. And again, there's a hiring freeze throughout the VA right now.
Yeah.
They're cutting programs everywhere.
Yeah.
They're sending people into community care rather than refund the VA. And I keep trying to tell people, hold out. If you can hold out, if you need the medical help, go. But if you can hold out, don't go into community care, because the upshot of that is that people like Collins will be able to say, look at all these people going to community care. What do we need the VA
Right,
for?
right.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah, Doug Collins.
they've closed
Yeah.
the hospital that Ron Kovic was in
Yeah,
in '69. I was in '69
yeah,
in Flushing. That's closed.
yeah.
It's closed.
Closed, yeah.
They said they didn't need it. Now all those guys have to go maybe
I would,
another 30, 40
I would like
miles.
to talk about Pauline. She was a surgical nurse,
She was.
and I've got some of her poems there. She's a wonderful poet.
You
I'm
had
tr-
her
I
as a
tr-
nurse?
No,
No, it was,
I met her afterwards. I wasn't in that hospital. She was,
This is one written by the Vietnamese person, right?
yeah, Duc Tan.
yeah.
A War That Never Ends. Who wrote that? That's you?
It's about me. It's
Yeah,
a poet friend of mine.
This is the Vietnamese person?
Yeah, Duc
Who
Tan.
was what? Was
I
he a
don't know.
soldier? Or?
I don't know.
You don't know him?
No,
Oh, do you want to read it?
I'll read it for you.
All right.
Despair. Unbearable heat this afternoon. The wind blows dry and hot. The trees are withered, their branches dry, their leaves yellow. I grieve for the roses that blossom only to die. I blame the universe that revolves, the wheel of life that turns so skillfully and dazes me with longing. If spring could come to stay, the bees and flowers would never part. Who could be so unfaithful to keep the bees from their flowers? Only those who believe money and power determine our fate. Never think of me in this unjust way. That's what I just said. Exxon,
yeah.
Dow Chemical,
Yeah.
AT&T, those who believe in money and power.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, you know,
What about
I
Mich-
grieve for the roses that blossom only to die. He's talking about the young men that die in war.
Yeah. The story, Dave, you told my students about Michelin rubber plantation, that was incredible.
Can
Yeah.
I read something I wrote for the newspaper
Sure.
about Vietnam? I wrote this long time ago, 1995. I guess it was.
Yeah.
Still going on? I had always thought of Jimmy as an exceptionally nice, if simple man. Each time I'd seen him at my brother's Thanksgiving dinner, he had appeared to me to be an extremely even-tempered, quiet person, one who measured his words and his movements so as not to waste anything at all on fancy. He is possessed of a ponderous of speech befitting the thickness of his lips and suitable to his stature, which was quite impressive. His eyes, like so many American descendants of the original settlers, were cornflower blue and steadily fixed on something beyond their stare. His nose was a bulbous sort, more from heritage than environment. His hands I liked very much. They were big and wide, as naturally open as his expression. Jimmy is as big as his wife is small, both extremely so. I was about to say, but stopped at Jimmy's expression, which was as if he had something important to relay. I'd always thought Jimmy a nice, if simple boy, and not much more. That Thanksgiving, when he got me alone, he began. About this time in my hometown, we'd be hunting, he said. I put down my gun when I come back from Nam. Jimmy said he'd grown up a simple Baptist boy in a small town with 2 churches and a school. The family he'd come from were poor, working class, and traditional. He knew because his brother had told him that he needed to get out of there if he was to get a college education. And so Jimmy had enlisted in 1962 and gone to Vietnam for the first of 2 tours. He said he was embarrassed by what he'd seen some of his fellow soldiers do there. The pot was $3 a bag, he said, his big hand surrounding some invisible amount. There was heroin and coke, cheap and easy to get. But he was a Baptist boy, he said, and never did anything to be ashamed of. Sure saw a lot at 17. Here I was from a little town in the South. I was sent to Arlington Cemetery to guard John Kennedy's grave. There I was with General de Gaulle and all those big leaders, and then I'd be back on the mountaintop in Da Nang. They had body bag counts every night, Jimmy said. If you brought them in, they'd give you money. They'd send you to Saigon. You'd have a pocket full of money, the best hotels, and next day you'd be back in Da Nang on some same mountaintop. I saw them make up photographs, move things around so they'd look better. They said, Charlie did that. We did that too. We're still doing that now in Bosnia, he said. Body bags. Who's the Viet? I asked him. Who's the Viet Cong? I asked. Didn't matter. Just a body bag, just a number, he said. And so Jimmy, who baked sweet potato pies and made eggs on pound cake for Thanksgiving dinner at my brother's house, who said grace every year because he still believed in a gracious God, he whom I had known as a nice and kind young man, and was now a man of almost 50, had led a heroic life, perhaps more so for not having told us. I'm sorry, I'm Italian. It's still going on.
Yeah, the cost of war never ends.
What is it you're doing to get over the post-traumatic stress? Because you have to find something to get you out of it, don't you? What are you doing?
I have weekly sit-downs with the shrink. I have monthly sit-downs with another shrink. We focus on a method of recovery called PE, prolonged exposure. Well, she says, well, pick some trauma. Pick one trauma. And I was like, one trauma. I'll be supposed to pick one trauma. And we talk about it ad nauseum. We talk about it until, I can't stand talking about it anymore. To try to empty the bags of pus and let clean blood flow, and hopefully it's a death sentence, PTSD. I'm never going to get over the war, never. I walked completely away from any idea that there's a God for having allowed any of that to happen, you know? I actually, when I was there, I went to see my regimental chaplain, who was a Jesuit priest from South Boston.
Jesuit, supposed to be smart.
From South Boston.
Yeah.
And he was my regimental chaplain in Vietnam. And I went and I said, listen, Father Thompson, I can't take what I'm doing. I can't take what I'm being ordered to do. I'm refusing orders, and I'm going to get in more and more trouble. And he said, Jesus wants you to kill gooks. Go do your
Oh
job.
my goodness.
It's like, okay. All right. But
Yeah.
The Jesuit?
listen, all you heard was they're just gooks.
My God.
And the only good gook is a dead gook, and let God sort them out. It went on. And, you know, in the Middle East, it was ragheads. And,
Yeah,
you know, it's you just name them. That's how they got all those nice Christian German boys to kill 6 million Jews and gypsies and homosexuals, because they gave them a name.
Yeah.
Made them less than human.
Same as Hitler did.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
And Trump is doing with immigrants.
Yeah, exactly.
He's treating them like the Jews were treated.
Yeah.
It's
He keeps
Terrifying.
Hitler's book beside his bed at night. You know?
What?
He keeps Mein Kampf beside his bed at night. Hitler, Trump does.
well, I didn't know he knew how to read.
I don't think he does, but he boasts. You know, he brags that
Oh.
that book sits beside his bed.
Yeah, well.
But
But you yourself, without the psychiatrist, because I've had trauma too, so I know how I helped myself out of it by having a farm and having a lot of animals and sheep and just start something wonderful.
well, I
natural.
put my life into music. I've been playing since I was a boy.
What?
I put my life into music,
Oh,
but now my hands are gone. I can't use
what do you play?
guitar.
Oh, too bad you didn't bring it.
I can't play anymore.
Oh, you can't?
Nope. There's too much arthritis, especially in this hand.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah,
I can't play the piano anymore.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to find something else, because at a certain age, you're limited.
We're doing it right now, fighting
Right.
it back against the power that's
Yes,
ruining
yes.
Right.
this country again.
Yes,
So,
but
And
we
I-
have to keep doing this?
Well, I always wonder the question of Dave and Jesse. What were the lessons of the Vietnam War?
What?
What were the lessons that we learned as a
We
nation?
should have learned, yeah.
Did we learn anything? Because I remember
Oh,
George
some of us
H.W.
did.
Bush saying the first Gulf War, now we've kicked the Vietnam syndrome. Remember that?
Oh,
So it's okay to go in now and
well, I think you have to trust your own brain and not listen to those stupid people that say those stupid things.
we're-
Unfeeling people.
We're veterans for peace, and people think we're crazy. You have to always be armed. You have to. We have enemies everywhere. No, we make enemies. we, you know, we've
It's
learned
like
a
the
lesson.
Crusades.
Well, yeah. And by the way, there was the president of Dave Klein was the president of Veterans for Peace. He was in Vietnam, I think, about the time you were.
yeah, it's 25th.
And he came face to face with, I'm not sure, it was a VC,
Was it?
Viet Cong,
Yeah.
and face to face, very, very near each other, and they fired. And the Vietnamese soldier missed, and they fired and hit him and killed him. And then later he thought about it and he said, it took my killing a revolutionary for me to become one after that. A revolutionary in terms of what U.S. policies, foreign policies were then and are now. You know, might makes right.
Yeah.
That's us. We have, what is
Right.
it, 800 military bases?
I was gonna say that on the way.
I mean, what are
Yeah.
we doing with 800 military bases and listening stations around the world? To prophet, where is he? Smedley Butler said,
What?
war is a racket.
Okay.
He said he was a racketeer for big business, for corporations.
You want to read that?
Well, I spent 33 years and 4 months in active military service. During that period, I spent most of my time as a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street and the bankers. In short, I was a racketeer, a gangster for capitalism. And where are we today? You know, this country was of, by, and for the people. Remember Gettysburg Address? Now it's of, by, and for the corporations and the billionaires. They control, in my opinion, our Congress, our government. And where do we go from here? We're still here. We're protesting. You know.
It's too bad that we have to keep repeating history. You know, but we never learn. It's like Bob Dylan's Masters of War.
Right.
Yeah. You the wheel the big guns who've never
Yeah.
done nothing
They
but.
profit.
But
Boeing, Raytheon, or RTX now, it's Lockheed Martin. I remember driving by the Pentagon once, and right across the street is a huge building. It's Lockheed Martin. How convenient, right across the street from now the War Department.
Yeah.
a young man, a friend of mine, has been in the Army for 23 years, and he was in Iraq. And he said all he saw was signs, posts for oil. Who's the big oil guy?
Exxon, or Cheney, or
Yeah,
Halliburton.
Halliburton, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he got blown up, and well, he's okay now, but his Jeep got blown up. I should think. I don't think it's a good idea to be cynical, because nothing happens if you're cynical. You know, cynic never made anything great. So you have to kind of be hopeful and optimistic. There are wonderful people in this country who are doing wonderful things. Some of them are actually in the government. Do you agree? Do you think there's anyone around now who's speaking out and speaking up? And
we are.
yeah, you are.
Well, there's very few Democrats who have the spine to speak out,
Well,
and there's even fewer Republicans who have any spine at all. They just kowtow to this moron in the White House, draft dodger, rapist. You know,
Yeah, I know.
adjudicated rapist. You know, that's not my opinion.
No,
That's
I
the
know.
court's opinion.
I know, yeah.
You know, but again,
He's probably a pedophile too.
read the Epstein report.
When you talk about what was the lessons of Vietnam,
Yeah.
I think, well, how could this Iran war have kicked off last year in June, July? How could it have kicked off again major time compared to last year after we just went through Iraq? After we just, I mean, that's in the popular memory. What lesson was learned? Forget, like, Vietnam happened. I mean, how could people forget that? And then we just went through Iraq, was total fabrication.
Right, lies.
And yet here we are, and they're just pumping out. And what is the justification today?
Right.
The latest with the soldier who was killed out of the Bronx. Trump went on and said she died in her belief that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I'm like, who believes this?
Yeah.
But again, the polling's out that nobody believes it. But like, what do you
People with
do?
the red hats believe it.
yeah.
It's
Well, all these wars were based on lies. I mean, go back to Spanish American, okay? There was a ship, a battleship called the Maine, USS Maine, in Havana Harbor. It was blown up. Well, McKinley and the other Republicans blamed the Spanish, who owned Cuba, the colony. And we find out it was the coal in the ship that blew up the ship, but they ignored that. And then you go to World War I. And ever hear of the Lusitania
Yes.
passenger ship? Well, it was attacked off of the coast of Ireland, and a lot of loss of life. And the Germans had warned the ship, the passengers on the ship, including the wealthy people, don't go because this is a warship. And of course, everybody denied it. We found out later it was filled with weapons, filled with
It had armaments.
armaments.
Yep.
it was a warship, and they sank it. You know, you blame the Germans. It was one of the reasons we got into the war. And the Zimmerman telegram.
It's like opportunities to take advantage of.
You
Yeah.
know, I had a friend in Hudson, little town, where this is being taped. This is HCTV. Thank you, guys. Her name was Ruth McKay.
Oh yeah, I knew.
Oh, you knew her?
I knew Ruth.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was anti-Vietnam War,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
both of us went to the post office and told the guys not to respond to the invitations to join. And I actually went to jail. She kept having these protests and being taken away to jail. She called the police ahead of time. I'm going to protest outside BEA. I just want to let you know. And they would come and they would pick her up nicely, and she'd go to jail for a day or whatever. But she's a wonderful woman. My God, I miss her.
Did you, when last time I was here, I think you had shared you and John Kerry got arrested at the same
Yeah,
event?
John Kerry was arrested with me. I didn't see him. We went to the women's jail, which was
Yeah,
a garage. And it was only overnight, but I was proud to do it.
Yeah.
In Lexington, I think, on the Concord Green? Lexington Green?
Lexington Green.
What?
I was there, Lexington Green.
Oh, you were too?
Oh, that's
Oh,
funny.
And
really?
Gary Rafferty.
You remember how nice the police were to escort us off?
There was a woman there, I can't remember her name now, she was a college professor. And the man who arrested her on Lexington Green was he was a part-time policeman, an auxiliary cop. And he arrested her, and he was her next door neighbor. And she never spoke to him again. She just, there was absolutely zero forgiveness. And she said, and I'm a Christian, and he gets no forgiveness.
One of the things Ruth McKay used to say was, she taught Sunday school, and I taught kids, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder, and then we give them a gun and say, go kill people that don't look like you.
That's right.
It's so hypocritical.
Yeah.
A really good Christian is a very rare bird.
You know, I was mostly raised by my grandparents. My parents both worked. I have 6 siblings, so my parents had
Wow.
to work. But my grandfather used to tell me stories of how he was IRA back in the early 1900s.
How he was what?
IRA, Irish Republican Army,
Oh, yeah.
back in the early 1900s.
Oh, yeah.
And, he'd tell me how the British Army would come through villages, especially on the western shore of Ireland, and they'd separate men, women, and children, and then they'd start to search through houses for arms, ammunition, or food, out of proportion for the number of people who lived there. Because if you had guns, that meant you were helping the IRA. If you had too much food to the British, that meant you were helping the IRA. And
Because you were feeding other people.
I got to Vietnam. He's telling me this when I'm an early teenager, and I got to Vietnam at 18, and my job was to move into villages and separate the men, women, and children, and search for arms or ammunition or food out of proportion. And at 18, you know, a dumb grunt, but I'm not stupid. I realized, in light of my heritage, I'm on the wrong side. My country's on the wrong side, in light of my heritage.
Yeah.
And I dare people to go back 2 generations in their own heritage, and they'll see that somebody stepped on you people too. You know, some other, you know, you're involved in some war, and somebody stepped on you. You know,
Garibaldi.
and nobody learns. Nobody learns that
Well, I think
you can't kill for peace.
some of us, I find comfort in the fact that Donald Trump's popularity is pivoted down to 27, and that's with the MAGA people too. So he's so bold-faced, and everything he does is right out there. So people are really turned off.
They're still making money hand over fist
Right.
because of him. So they're not going to walk away from him until that money dries up.
Right. Well, I mean, Dave, here's your
I don't
poem.
know.
To the Irish Americans who fought the last war.
I would like to talk about Pauline, who was a surgical nurse.
Yeah.
Yep.
And who told me the story of her kitten? The kitten? You?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want?
Sugar from Heaven.
Oh.
Sugar from Heaven, right?
What?
Sugar from Heaven.
I don't have it.
You don't
do
have
I
the
have
poem? I think you do.
Well, I can tell you the story. She was very badly shaken by her time in Vietnam and the kids that she treated, and she was at the point where she didn't want to live anymore, and she went outside to get in her car with a gun in her hand, and she heard something under the hood rumbling,
Yeah.
and it turned out to be a kitten, and she saved the kitten and saved her own life. So that was sugar from heaven for her. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I wrote her a letter. I don't know if she'll get it, but
She's pretty bunkered.
she's what?
Bunkered.
Oh,
She hides from the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
pretty bunkered?
Yeah, she hides from the whole world. I don't know how many phone numbers I have for her. She never answered one of them, if any of them still
You
exist.
don't have the poems? Because I
don't-
thought I
I
gave
don't
them to
know.
you.
I don't think I have that one.
No?
But,
There was a
the
whole...
gist of it,
Yeah, she came into class with Gary Rafferty.
oh, that's you.
And she was very powerful, and she had been, what's the word, Dave, in the, locked up. Yeah, she was in,
Yeah, in a locked ward.
yeah, they locked her up because she kept having nightmares and
Yeah,
flashbacks.
I was in Ward 8 with her up
Oh,
in
here it is.
Northampton.
Where?
Ward 8 in Northampton.
Okay. Yeah,
Her,
here,
her and Gary and Preston.
right? Here it is.
I thought I brought it with
I
me.
have it right
Oh,
here.
you have the one?
You want to read it?
I'll read it because she's a woman. Maybe I'll read it like a woman.
Sugar from Heaven.
Oh, I'll pretend I'm a woman. This is called Sugar from Heaven. It's by Pauline Herzer.
Hebert.
Ebert.
Hebert.
H-E-B-E-R-T.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Arctic winds claw at the angel's wings, intent on her mission. She circles twice, lands on the blue Honda, deposited her whisper-like burden on the warm engine block. Smiling in satisfaction, she flaps her wings, then is lost in New England's first winter blizzard. I approached my Honda, my boots slushed through heavy snow. My eyes, tearing now, became haunted decades ago as I nursed casualties on a field of battle. Tonight I've decided to finally rejoin them. So she decided to kill herself. I unlock my car, remove a loaded .22 Beretta, pocket the handgun. I hear a peep, then another. Follow the sound, open the hood. The peep gets louder. My warm hands retrieve a wet, shaking fuzzball. I tuck it under my coat, retrace my footsteps. Entering my cottage, I move a rocking chair closer to a crackling wood stove, sit and cradle the tiny animal on my lap, shed my coat and boots. Before you left home, you should have learned how to meow, I said aloud. I placed the handgun on the table, intention forgotten. I rock the baby kitten, name her Sugar, tuck her under my chin, chuckle as I feel a wet nose, a warm tongue. Long into the night I rock. Eventually we sleep. Every now and then, beneath the wings of angels, the soft kitten peeps. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
She wrote this too, Vietnam Baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Vietnam Baby. He stares into forever, lies quiet. Such a tiny infant boy, brought to the Army's hospital by his terrified too-young mother, who tried to treat his fever, gave him too big a dose of drug. We hung by his bedside to cheer him when he woke. Yellow cut-out paper dolls, thin as the curtain between life and death. Thin as the curtain between life and death. Dolls with smiles that mock our efforts to save him. Whew. God, that's heavy.
You know, besides the American soldiers that I saw die and the communist soldiers I saw die, they paled in comparison to the number of men, old men, young women, and children who died, I saw die, or saw dead. That, by far, I operated down in 3 Corps where there was still a lot of villages. We were in and out of villages all day. The vast majority of the people I saw killed or wounded in Vietnam were civilians, old men, young women, and their kids.
Oh, my God.
And I will never forgive this country for that.
Well, you shouldn't. But you shouldn't let it make you miserable, too.
I'm not miserable.
Yeah.
That's why I'm screaming here.
Yeah. So Dave,
I'm screaming because you're as deaf as I am, but I have my hearing aids on.
Oh,
so
will you give me your hearing aid, please?
now, Jesse, have you been to the
I
wall?
lost both of them.
The wall in Vietnam, in Washington, the Vietnam Wall.
No.
You've been.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You've been, right?
No.
And the
I've
fact
seen it,
is
but-
that 58,000 plus. But if we counted all the suicides, it would be twice as long, if not
So
longer.
this is our message to the viewers. We don't have to do this again. I'm really tired of it. I'm 85 now, and I'm getting tired of this.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever see peace, but people are much more aware. And these lovely gentlemen and him.
Not laughing? You're not lovely?
He's a veteran for peace, but
Yeah.
he's young.
He's the coordinator of New Hampshire Veterans for Peace.
Oh, you are?
Jesse.
You're the
Yes, he
coordinator?
is.
See? Things are happening that are good.
You
We
know
have to keep fighting against it.
Yeah.
You know what the Republicans are threatening? Is to reinstitute the draft,
I've thought of that too.
okay?
Yeah,
Which,
that might stop it.
when they stopped the draft, it all but took apart the anti-war movement during the Vietnam War, because now these kids were they had nothing to fear. You know?
Yeah.
They went to a volunteer army and they said, I don't have to march in the street anymore because I'm not going to get drafted.
Right.
You know, but again, it was tough. Even with the draft, it was tough to get the average person on the street to listen to us about the war, because unless they were personally involved, unless they had a kid or a husband there, and at that point there were very few women. There were nurses like Pauline, donut dollies, but unless you were
Did you
personally,
know her?
who's that?
Did you know Pauline?
Very well.
Oh,
Very well.
Tell me about her.
She is as sweet as she is hard. She's got a real hard shell that built up over many years and having seen too much, But she's got a great laugh. We used to hang out. She used to come to my gigs.
Oh, you did gigs?
Yeah.
Are you still doing them?
No, because I can't play anymore.
Well, you can sing.
I can sing, but
Yeah.
I have a tough time singing if I don't have a guitar in my hand.
Oh.
And that's like,
Have somebody else play the guitar.
yeah, that's like kissing your sister. It's not the same thing.
That's not a bad thing to do either.
It's not real.
Well, I thank you all very much for coming and sharing, and we have to continue to do this because otherwise we're going to, this stupid war in Iran that nobody wants, it doesn't seem like any American wants it.
Some do.
Unjust and illegal and horrible. And now they're saying because Americans are killed, it's, but all those poor Iranian kids and mothers and old men who he dropped bombs on.
All of the young men and now young women who are caught in this, who joined the military, because the best draft ever devised is economic.
Yeah, get out of
If they don't have anything to look forward to,
Right.
if they can't afford college, if their living arrangements here are untenable, they look to go into the military to at least learn something. And I try to tell them, I lecture in high schools all the time, and I tell them, anything you learn in the military, any kind of technology is already outdated in the civilian world. You are going to learn nothing new. You're just going to promote the aims of the people who want this war. And if you come home in a body bag, know, I tell people too, and people don't know this, that the day I got to Vietnam, one of the first things I did was write my own will. I was 18 years old. It's pretty sobering, you know. Who do you know in country? GIs or Marines? Who do you know? And give us a list so that when you're killed, they can escort your body home. And now write your will. You know?
They told you to write your will. You didn't do that on your own?
No, I did. It was
Yeah.
mandatory.
Was it mandatory?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
There were operations that we went on where we were handed our own body bag before we went out on operation.
So there's nothing noble about war and killing people. It's all awful and stupid and waste of life and property and land and resources and everything else. So please, young men, don't join, young women too now, I guess. Don't join the armed forces. Join our peace movement. We actually, I believe this, we stopped the Vietnam War, the protesters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that Ron, what's his name? Ron
Kovic.
Kovic. Wow, what a guy.
Yeah. Well, the movies too. Oliver Stone
Yes.
movies.
Yes. Oh, he's a good guy.
Platoon, I think it was.
Yep, Platoon.
Apocalypse Now. I mean, there were some films. And,
Yeah.
you know, in the 60s, you had in '68 the trial of the Chicago Seven. Remember that?
Yes.
Tom Hayden and others. And then you had Woodstock in 1969. And then in 1970, May 4th, Kent State. And the students were out, you know, didn't go to class,
remember
they
that.
canceled exams. So there was a movement.
They shot students.
Well, they killed four.
National Guard?
Four.
Was it?
Remember Crosby, Stills Nash and Young song, Four Dead in Ohio.
Well, I don't know what more we can say about this.
Well, look,
So obviously, it's obviously wrong.
yeah, every war is based on lies. Vietnam, the Gulf of Tonkin was false. I mean, Iraq, they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. Afghanistan, we attacked the nation, but it was 15 of the 19 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. And bin Laden actually had worked with the CIA.
So we're
to,
kind of lulled into going to war, huh, Jesse?
I don't know how you put it. There's
You told-
justification. People wanted revenge for 9/11.
Yeah.
And then it's an opportunity to enact violence on others, sure. You already thought so little of them, and it was easy to dehumanize.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Terrorism begets more terrorism.
Well,
And war is
I
hell.
feel optimistic about how many people there have been at the No Kings rallies. 8 million last time?
Boston
Well-
Common was choked with people.
What?
The Boston Common was choked with
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. So
But
people, well, this is a small world now. What happens overseas or anywhere in the world, we know about in 3 minutes. So we're aware now. We can't say we didn't know what was going on over there. We do know what's going on over there. For example, Gaza being
well, and here's,
raped.
yeah, and I've got the Free Palestine shirt on.
Yeah.
And the genocide that's been ongoing, the
I know.
ceasefire is false. You know, they're killing more people, including children, deliberately targeting children. The Israeli military deliberately targets children. Doctors, American doctors have testified, and others. We're spending billions again. Didn't our esteemed
I
president?
thought there was a bill, Bernie Sanders' bill, to stop that money
Yeah,
going to.
it didn't
It didn't pass?
No, no. Oh, the other part was to integrate the Israeli military with the U.S. military. How
Yeah.
about that? You like those apples, huh?
What? I don't get the context.
No,
They're going to merge the Israeli army with the American army.
Oh, nice.
So vote for
Well, maybe
people.
if people like Pete Hegseth are in the military and probably in the Israeli military too, good, goodbye. You know, but they're
has
killing
150
innocent
nuclear
people.
weapons.
What?
Israel has 150 nuclear weapons.
Oh,
Iran, the agreement Obama reached with them, they agreed not to do that. The Ayatollah said, no, we don't want any nuclear weapons. It didn't make any difference. Because in '53, we overthrew the
well,
government.
I'll say
oil.
what the Russians said. Come the revolution.
Yeah, so, Anyway,
We'll storm the Bastille, and
okay.
we ought to do that. We ought to storm the Bastille. Prisons, lay the prisons to the ground. My very dear friend and like a son of mine is in detention in an immigration jail. He's been there for 6 months. He calls me every day. I'm the only one he calls, and I have to be cheerful and optimistic, but it breaks my heart that he's in there.
Where is he being held?
Huh?
Where is he being held?
In Plymouth, Massachusetts, there's a prison, Plymouth State Correctional,
Yeah.
whatever. You know about that? Why aren't there people protesting it there?
You know, my chapter of Veterans for Peace, we have a guy there, he's a pretty hard charger, but he's also new to the game. That he wants to do things like block weapon delivery systems at the source, not let trucks out of like the Watertown labs and things like that. And he doesn't realize that he's not going to be arrested by Watertown cops. That's a federal gig. That's a federal charge. You interrupt.
He's a hero.
He's a hero, but he doesn't realize that, you know, he's not going to spend overnight in jail. He might do 10 years,
Yeah.
You know.
you know, just for speaking his mind.
You know,
And you can't go off half-cocked.
But the point
Well-
is, when you say he's new, it's the point is, well, how do we stop it? It may work for him, and doing this, we may appreciate his efforts, but that does not move us politically.
No.
We think of like, oh, these are small things, and there are those who appreciate it, but it does not get what you think it's going to get.
Right. Right.
I'll say goodbye for now. Thank you for watching. Go out and tell other people about war and the stupidity and arrogance of it, and the people who are making money from your kids being killed or wounded, or worse, having post-traumatic stress disorder your whole life because you're a good person, and you had to see that. It's not fair. Okay? We'll keep on talking about this.
That was a good one, too.
Goodbye.